Auto Detailing by Me is the leader in auto detailing in Southern West Virginia. We offer several exterior as well as interior detailing services, including engine shampooing, convertible top cleaning, interior fabric protection, and long-term paint sealing. There are detailing packages to choose from to fit any budget. We also offer custom decaling and over 200 colored bed liners to choose from. See why Auto Detailing by Me is Southern West Virginia's leader in auto detailing. Visit us on the web at autodetailingbyme.com or call us at 304-461-0049.
I am joined by one of the new junior heavyweights here in NWA Mid-Atlantic, Tony Deppen.
First of all, you can't even get the microphone right. I drove 7 hours. 7 long hours, and you cannot get that right. I drove from the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to wrestle in the slum scums of West Virginia. It's not something I like to do on my free time. So, what I'm gonna do tonight, I'm gonna take care of this guy quickly. I'm gonna get the heck out of this gosh-forsaken state and go back to the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, baby.
Tony Deppen, ladies and gentlemen. JJ Devile, Tony Deppen saying he's going to make short work of you. I'm sure you have some words for Mr. Deppen.
Short work? I'm JJ Devile. I know none of you guys out there know who I am, but after this match, you're going to remember exactly who I am. I'm going to help make this a historical moment for the NWA. Tony, you're going down. Talk is cheap. I'll let my moves do the talking for me.
JJ Devile, ladies and gentlemen. This contest is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. From Schmoken, Pennsylvania, 160 pounds of pure Deppen, Tony Deppen. And his opponent from Ashland, Ohio, weighing 165 pounds, JJ Devile.
One-on-one action getting ready to start off here for NWA Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, our inaugural event. It's going to be Tony Deppen and JJ Devile. Referee calls for the bell. And Deppen calls out to the crowd to sing his praises. Probably not going to have much luck after calling them scum.
Well, and you have to be the biggest West Virginian I know, Steve. So even though you usually side with those that like the jeers, I'm sure you can't be behind Tony Deppen here tonight.
Well, you would think that, but that's what makes you an absolute fool of a human being.
What?
Let me digress here for just a moment, if you will.
All right.
Tony says the people of West Virginia are scum, and I primarily agree with him. I love where I'm from because West Virginia is mine. It belongs to me, but the people in this state are atrocious. They're fat, they're slobs, they're uneducated. Not everyone can be like me. They can't dress as well as me. They're not as smart as me. And Lord loving me for coming out to this great event here tonight. They don't know wrestling like the Outlaw Rockstar. So if Tony Deppen demands a higher caliber, a higher class of person to come out and watch his affairs, I kind of agree with him. I'd like to see more people like me out here.
Well, speaking of seeing people, JJ Devile showing his ropes here and taking the offense early in this contest. Great reversal by Tony Deppen now.
And that's what makes Tony Deppen so astute. He is a student of the game and he knows it. And he says great wrestling comes from Pennsylvania. And to a point, you have to agree with him. State pride aside, we've seen a lot of great wrestlers over the years come down this way from Pennsylvania.
Oh, absolutely, Steve. You can't disagree there. But look at JJ Devile trying to fight back here, using leverage to his advantage, and takes Tony Deppen down to the mat.
Referee getting down there, asking Deppen if he wants to give this one up, and that's not going to happen, not this early in the contest.
Absolutely not, Steve. And I tell you, I really hope to see, with the fact that we have some lighter weight individuals in the ring, some of those high-flying maneuvers that are going to make up our junior heavyweight division.
Well, you know, being a junior heavyweight doesn't necessarily mean that you focus your game primarily on flying around that ring. That's a crash and burn strategy. Right now what we're seeing from these two men is a mat wrestling game employed, and that's smart. That's going to save you some years on your career at the end of it. You don't want to fly around all the time.
And so, you know, it saves you years in your career going out and jaw-jacking with the fans and not trying to wrestle like Tony Deppen is doing right now.
Well, Tony Deppen, he found himself in a spot he didn't care for, so he took a moment. There's nothing wrong with taking a moment. Most sports have timeout, not wrestling, but if you go to the outside of that ring, you got 10 seconds to get back in, and nobody can make you get in there before you want to.
And Tony
Not unless they have guts and throw you back in themselves.
This is true. But Tony Deppen using that outside strategy may have been what he needed now.
And that moment he took working out well for him.
Wait a minute, Tony Deppen trying to claim victory from a kick between the shoulder blades and a kick to the solar plexus for hot dogging it in the ring.
Well, I hate to agree with you, and you know that, but you're right there. At that moment, at that point in time, that cost him.
And now, big scoop slam by J.J. Devile. Looks like he's getting ready to measure.
And JJ calling out to the fans, and still he nails the moonsault from the middle rope. Very impressive. Very close on the count.
And I really thought that did knock the wind out of Tony Deppen and thumb to the eye will stop anybody, which is the strategy that Tony Deppen has decided to use here.
Well, it's not the sole strategy. It's a moment strategy. It's a tactic he employed.
But it's not an illegal tactic, Steve. That's
it
the
doesn't
problem.
matter. It's not a disqualification. Deppen nails him. Very expressive is Deppen. Very expressive. You can read this guy like a book almost, if he wants you to.
Yeah. And I tell you what, Deppen has implemented the strategy from early on that you described, Steve, having that slower pace match and using...
And literally standing on top of his competition right now. You know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of showboating if you can do it right. But that right there was ideal.
But unfortunately, the showboating got him in trouble again for a second time.
For a moment's notice, though, blocking a punch. He's back in control. Another forearm shot. That's going to rock Devile. And Devile getting sent out of the corner. Deppen building his momentum. Flies in at him. Nails him with that offense. And just flings him out of that corner. Lateral press. Almost. Almost.
2 count only, though. And Deppen measuring Devile, and look at the way he's just using the boots in like an unceremonious-like way, Steve. I mean, I'd like to see some legitimate offense out of this man.
Well, he would probably like you to shut up, just like the rest of the scum in West Virginia that he's noticed, making it impossible for high-quality individuals like myself to associate with Mr. Deppen. But you can't argue with the fact that Deppen, he's got a strategy that's working for him for the moment.
And wow, strategy aside, Devile out of nowhere with that big hand. Great clothesline taking down Deppen. And Devile looks measuring him. Drop kick puts Deppen down on the mat. This could be it, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, no.
Well, great drop kicks aside, you gotta think Deppen's controlled a lot of the offense in this contest. And coming back like that, that's going to give you a moment to find your opening. But a couple drop kicks not going to put Deppen away. He came here to fight. He's going to stick in this one.
Well, I got to give it to you there, Steve. Deppen isn't going to go down with a simple drop kick. Irish whip into the corner now by Devile. Devile getting the crowd behind him and going on in there. And, oh, nobody home. Wait a minute.
Devile lands on his feet, firmly behind Deppen. And now he's laying in wait. He's got a hold of the top rope, slingshots himself. Nice Hurricane Rana. Sends Deppen halfway across the ring, goes behind him. Rear waist lock into a German suplex, still has a hold of him. Fighting to pull him back up to a vertical base. Attempting a second German suplex. He nails it. And it appears that Devile's going to go for one more, Styles.
And this could be it. This could be the German suplex that takes Deppen out of it. Wait a minute, Deppen using some sort of strategy, which we couldn't see from our vantage point, but wrist lock apply. Wait a minute, look at the speed on Deppen there. Great
Deppen
suplex.
right on top of him.
Yes.
Planted him.
Two 2 count only, and Deppen showing frustration there. And I can't blame him. I mean, I don't like to see a man who likes to insult the great state of West Virginia be victorious. But Deppen definitely having trouble figuring out what it's going to take to put away J.J. Devile here.
Well, Deppen, he's given Devile everything he can handle. And you got to think, if he gives him any more, how much more can he handle? Sure, he's kicking out, but those kickouts, they're getting slower.
And now, Deppen.
Deville sending him off. Deppen, though, runs right back at him, nails him again.
And Deppen getting right back up there, not letting Deville get a moment to try to get some offense. Could we be seeing the suplex here?
Well, once again, you see Deville fighting out of it. This time he sends Deppen down. Face first did he hit the mat there. And now you see Deville, he's all the way up top. Whoa! Nails the splash.
2, 3, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. J.J. Deville. The winner of the match, J.J. Deville. And J.J. Deville victorious, showing Tony Deppen you're not going to make short work of anybody here in NWA Mid-Atlantic.